Hey guys, I'm Josh Davis CPT, and this channel is devoted to teaching you all aspects of health and fitness. Each week, we're going to highlight a different topic on one of the 4 categories in the order of gym fitness, nutrition, home fitness, and rehabilitation. So let's get started. Today, we're going to be discussing how to get into a workout regimen, or if you've been lifting for a while and not seeing results, this video should be able to help you out as well. There are a couple of questions to ask yourself before getting started. The first question to figure out is, am I a morning person or am I an evening person? Because this alone will dictate if you stick with your workout regimen and how much effort you can put into it. Personally, I love 4:30 to 5 a.m. and because of this, morning workouts are ideal for me. If you're a night owl, 8 to 9 p.m. might be prime time for you to hit the gym. Take a day and really pay attention to when you feel most motivated and try to schedule your workout around that time frame. Now, the second question to ask yourself is, where's the closest gym? Studies show that if you have to go more than 15 minutes out of your way, you won't stick with your workout. So do your best to try and find a gym or fitness location that's within 15 minutes of your home or work. Now, the third question is, how many days a week should I work out? Typically, when I first start training clients, I recommend 2, maybe 3 days a week. One of the main issues people run into is they go from 0 to 100, working out 5 or 6 days a week with no history and get burnout immediately. I always recommend 2 or 3 days a week starting out to avoid that burnout. For 2 or 3 days a week working out, we primarily want to focus on compound movements or exercises, meaning multi-joint. Now, some of the things that you should avoid when first starting working out are single joint movements, and not necessarily because they're bad, but because they don't burn many calories. And when we're trying to lose weight, that's the name of the game, is burning calories. So our first exercise is the lunge. Now, when you're stepping into the lunge, what you want to make sure is that your back is straight, your core or your abs are nice and tight, and there's a right angle between where your knee is and your ankle is. You want to try and avoid pushing your knee or having your knee over your toe. Next, we have the squat. Now, squats are a little complicated to get into if you haven't done them before, so try practicing simply sitting down in a chair and standing back up. But the main things we want to focus on is keeping the weight in our heels and not on our toes. We want to make sure our feet stay flat and our butt sticks out. For push-ups, you want to make sure that your shoulder and wrists are in a nice even line, and as you go down, you want to avoid keeping your scapulas or shoulder blades from collapsing. This will keep the emphasis on your pec muscles and on your triceps. Bent over rows are the next exercise we'll talk about. These are great for your back. You want to get into a mini squat position, hinge at the hips, leaning forward at about 45 degrees, and make sure to keep your arms right next to your body and row them back, keeping your arms and weights as close to your body as possible. Some of the things you should avoid while first starting working out are single joint movements. Not that they're necessarily bad, but while they're great for vanity, they burn very few calories. And the reason for this is there's a direct correlation between the joints that are engaged in an exercise and the muscles. So if you think about it, the more muscles we engage in each exercise, the more calories we're going to burn. So let's take a look at what I mean by single joint exercises. So we're starting off with the bicep curl. So as you can see with the bicep curl, I'm only moving one single joint at my elbow. That's the only thing that's being worked. And the bicep, the muscle that's actually being used to lift the weight, is incredibly small, which tells us that we're not going to be burning very many calories. Same thing with the leg extension. While we're doing our leg extensions, again, we're only bending at the knee. And this tells us that even though we are engaging our quads, one of the larger muscle groups, we're only bending at the knee, which is using one joint. Again, telling us that we're not really burning very many calories. So for beginners, let's take a look at what 2 days a week might look like at the gym. First, we'll start off with some dumbbell presses. Next, we'll move on to some squat thrusts. Then we have some lunges, and we'll finally finish off with some bent over dumbbell rows. When it comes to the dumbbell press, the main thing to focus on is keeping your core tight and your shoulder blades or your scapulas contracted, almost as if you're trying to pinch a pencil or a grape in between your shoulder blades. Once you get into this position, make sure your elbows and wrists are in line. You're gonna push them straight up and bring the dumbbells together at the top. For squat thrusts, what we want to focus on is our squat first, and then as we come up, we're almost going to use the momentum to get the shoulder press portion of the thrust. For dumbbell bent over rows, we're gonna, again, get into a partial squat position. We're gonna keep the dumbbells right next to our body, and we're gonna pull them back, pinching our scapulas or shoulder blades together. Again, almost like you're trying to pinch a pencil or hold a pencil in between your shoulder blades. Last, we have the walking lunges. And like we discussed before, some of the primary things to focus on are keeping your core tight. As you step into that lunge, make sure your knee stays behind your ankle, and then you come back up into the standing upright position. Perform each one of these exercises one after another, taking as long of a rest as you need, typically between 30 seconds and a minute. Once you finish all 4 exercises, take a 1 to 2 minute break and then start back at the top. Perform this for 3 rounds and your workout should be done. This should take you roughly 30 to 40 minutes, and this will be fantastic for beginners. Let's take a quick recap of what we covered. First, find out what time you're most motivated. Second, find a gym nearest you. And third, ease into it. Take your time and don't get burnt out. Now, if you found this video helpful or have any questions, please leave a comment below. Thanks for watching, and everyone have a joy-filled and blessed day. Thanks.
All right, let's move on.
Okay.